Let's see similarities and differences in the decimation in time and decimation in frequency. First we will see similarities. In both cases, either it may be DIT or DIF, number of computations required are always equal. Both uses in place computation, that is output of stage 1 becomes input of stage 2. While solving example, by either of the one method, either DIT or DIF, we have to perform bit reversal at some place. Either it may be input or output, but at least once we have to go for bit reversal of your sequence. Now we will see difference. In a DIT, input is bit reversed and output is in natural order. But in case of DIF, input is in natural order but output is bit reversed. And basic operation for DIT, basic operation is A plus omega n kb and A minus omega n kb. And in case of DIF, first output is A plus b and second output is A minus b multiplied by omega n k. So what statement we can do here? In case of DIT, for calculating each output we have to multiply by corresponding twiddle factor. But in case of DIF, we have to just multiply with twiddle factor only once while calculating second output. So these are similarities and differences in DIT and DIF. So last point of today's lecture, that is IDFT using FFT algorithm. So as we discussed how to calculate DFT of given sequence using DIT or DIF, now we will see how to calculate IDFT using FFT algorithm. First, take complex conjugate of given sequence. So if they have given you a particular sequence, first step we have to take its complex conjugate. Now what do you mean by complex conjugate? We have to just change sign of imaginary term from minus j to plus j and plus j to minus j. Simple task. Depending on which algorithm they have you asked, we have to arrange our input sequence. If they have asked to find IDFT using DIT, we have to make our input bit reversed, or if they have asked to calculate IDFT using DIF algorithm, we have to keep our input in natural order. Apply respective algorithm. As we have already discussed the steps to solve example by DIT and DIF, follow same process here, apply same steps for DIT or DIF. Depending on DIT or DIF, read output sequence. Means in case of DIT, output is in natural order, but in case of DIF, output is in bit reversed order. Output calculated is in terms of n into x conjugate n. So whichever output we will get after the flow graph or after the calculation, we will get that output in the form of capital N multiplied by x conjugate of n. But we need final output as x of n. So to get final output sequence, what we have to do? Divide output by capital N and take complex conjugate after division. So this is the method of calculating IDFT using FFT algorithm. Depend on DIT or DIF, we can change order of input or output.